Robin Wilson from Gin Blossoms. Hello.
Hey, nice
Round
to
of
meet you.
applause. One of your Carb Day concerts, guys. One of the great shows we have lined up. Yes, please, a little bit later today. Welcome.
Hey, hi guys.
How's it going?
Fine, thanks. You're James.
I'm James. This is Tim.
Tim.
This
Yep.
is
Hello.
Off Track with Hinch and Rossi, which sounds weird because that's neither of our
Rossi's
names.
not here.
My name's James Hinch. but-
Producer explained the whole thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
We're see, that's what a real producer does,
Great.
Tim.
Thank you for having me.
I was there
thank you so much
drinking
for
with
being here.
our people.
Look, you've probably sat through a lot of conversations about your incredible music career, your band success, multi-platinum selling
all-
artists, all that stuff.
That's all I do is talk about being a rock star all
Okay.
the time.
So let's talk about something else.
Boring.
Okay, let's talk about motorsports.
Okay.
Have you ever
Or
been in Indy
space.
500
I wanna
before?
talk
We're going to
space.
get to space.
Okay.
I've never actually been to the race in person, but
Okay.
I watched it while I was on acid once. So
I imagine that was a pretty
Yeah.
cool experience.
well, it was an extraordinary
Super
experience.
related. What are your plans for Sunday, and can I join?
Are you sticking around for the race?
I'm going to be right here on this couch, tripping.
I've never done it, but that feels like the way to do it.
Well, here's the thing. So
It was cool.
You
It was
didn't
very
then
cool.
do it again the following year. So what? Did something go wrong? Did you not enjoy that experience?
I think I just had other stuff to do. the
Right,
next
other
year.
things to watch
You
on
know,
acid,
like
so you couldn't.
this was in the early days of the band, and so I think our career was taking off, and I was just involved
Just
in.
busy.
I was just doing
Busy
other,
being a rock
more,
star.
more important stuff. Yeah.
Are you sticking around for the race today, this weekend?
No,
busy
I'm
being a rock
actually
star?
no. I'm going back to Chicago with my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Can I get some to-go acid before you go?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, all right.
You bet.
So
You bet.
you on your website, there's a really cool little blurb about you that says something along the lines of "You're super good at music, art, and science."
Oh yeah. That's well. When you put together a website, you're supposed to describe yourself.
Yeah.
So
That's what you landed
I
on.
was trying to be as facetious and serious at the same time.
Because it also says Robert Wilson is smart, like really smart. Like that's what that's what it says.
I was just trying to joke. It's so boring when you have to describe yourself.
Oh, it's awful.
on a website. So I just
Plane's coming again.
I just did something.
Okay, now he's just showing off.
Yeah, that was.
Yes, we get it. You're faster than the cars.
That was way more interesting than anything I could possibly say.
So are you a big nerd? Are you a big space nerd? Because
Yeah, kind of. You can see I've got tattoos of most of the
there you go.
spaceships
That's-
here. I got
yeah,
the
Voyager.
Voyager.
yeah, you got
the Hubble.
couple planets.
I've always been interested in science. I wanted to study physics and planetary science when I was in college, but unfortunately the band took off, and so I
hate when that happens.
I got to drop out of school, and I never finished my physics degree. But
It's never too
but
late.
I still
Rob. It's never too late.
I still follow. I have some interest in that stuff, but my vote, I named it Cosmos,
Okay.
and I still read and watch science TV.
Well, and you had the Uranus recording studio.
Yes.
Big gas giants. So
Gas Giants was the name of my band. Uranus was the name of my studio, and so I'm one of the few songwriters and rock and rollers that I know of that are like scientifically literate.
Right.
I'm no Brian May, who is a literal
he's an
astrophysicist.
Yeah.
But I read Wired magazine,
There
so
you go. I think that counts.
I guess
So is this the boat that you keep on? Is it Canyon Lake?
it's called Saguaro Lake. It used to be on Canyon Lake, but now I got my boat on Saguaro Lake, and it's beautiful. I miss it terribly. I live in New York now on Long Island, and whenever I get to Arizona, I eat Mexican food and I go on my boat.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you're weirded out by the fact that I guessed Canyon Lake or where I would know that from.
Well, I assume from the internet,
No.
because your phone is right there in front of you.
No, that's not actually written on there. That's
No.
that's us other random notes and tidbits. But did you know that a relative of yours works in this industry?
Yes, I do. My sweet niece, Mary, or Georgia Henneberry.
That is correct.
Yes, she works in this industry. So I don't know if any of you know my niece, Georgia.
Yeah, round of
but she's
applause
here.
if you're fans of Georgia. She does a lot of the big screen work. Does a lot of work with us on NBC.
So far, she is the most successful member of our family in any field. So she's blowing us all away. Yeah. And also, my other niece Mary is here somewhere. So
Hi,
if you
other
know
niece Mary.
Hi, Mary. Hi,
Go
Mary.
say hi to Georgia. You guys can have a little family reunion up in here.
Yeah, and my girlfriend is here.
Hi,
and so-
girlfriend.
and she's a big shot on Instagram. So
Oh, there you go.
there you go. Yeah.
What's your name? Pardon me?
Her name is Arlie.
Arlie. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got weird headsets on. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Question for you. So this is we talk a lot about how this is the biggest single day sporting event on earth. 350,000 people are going to be here on race day. What's the biggest crowd you ever played in front of?
The grand opening of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we performed for 75,000 people in the audience, and it was broadcast on HBO at the same time, so there was another at least 2 or 3 million people watching that. But the single biggest broadcast we ever did was the American Music Awards, and there were 20 million people watching that.
Does that change anything for you? Does it affect you at all if you know the audience?
Not at all. I was so high, I didn't even know what I was doing.
Okay. All right. Enough with this.
Are you sure you can't stay through Sunday? I feel like
You've toured a lot. You've toured a ton. You've probably
Yeah.
played with a lot of other bands. Who are the biggest jerks? Who are the worst band you ever had to tour?
Oh, I don't want to say anything negative about anybody.
That's fair.
That-
I
that's
respect
just
that. I don't
there's no reason to do that. I will tell you that my favorite band to tour with is Sugar Ray. Can I hear it for Sugar Ray?
Absolutely.
Also, my very good friends in Fastball, and then this summer we're going out with Toad the Wet Sprocket and Vertical Horizon. And we spent a few summers back. We were out with Bare Naked Ladies. They're great,
Awesome.
a lot
Awesome.
of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun to tour with those guys. And then one of my all-time favorite bands, I'm wearing their shirt right now, Soul Asylum. And I understand that Soul Asylum was here last year at this event, and so I wore my Soul Asylum shirt in
did your
honor
research.
of them. Yes.
Did your
So,
research. How many people were expecting out there today?
at our show?
Yeah.
Well, I would guess when we're on, there'll be at least a few dozen people watching. But then George Thorogood goes on after us. I imagine that the crowd will pick up at that point.
I think you're being a little bit humble on that one.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
What's the fastest you've ever driven? We like asking guests of the show on that.
Well, I would assume it about 110 miles an hour.
Are you a
maybe.
car guy?
I like to look at cars.
Right.
I watched a lot of stuff on YouTube about car restoration, and I do watch. I follow F1.
Yeah. Who's
And
your
follow-
F1 guy?
big F1 guy.
Well, I really don't have a specific one, a specific team or anybody that I really follow. I guess right now I'm kind of pulling for Ferrari.
Okay.
And I'd like to see some of the guys in the midfield like get higher and win some more races. Like
Wouldn't we all?
I'd love to see McLaren win some races, and I'm a.
Never heard of 'em.
And as awesome as Red Bull is, I'm just kind of sick of them. So
Right.
maybe it would be nice to see some of the rest of the midfield win some races.
Okay.
But then my niece Georgia Henneberry, she's working on a broadcast related to Formula E. So I'm beginning to follow that
Cool.
that circuit, and it really fascinates me. The technology is amazing.
I say there's a lot of science involved in motorsports.
Yes, a great.
Have you had a
great deal.
chance to look around the cars and kind of see up close?
Yes, a little bit. Not today, but in the past. I've been here before to the museum and and I visited the track once. So.
Very cool. All right. Well, look, we know
Yeah.
you have a concert to get ready for, but last thing, real quick.
Yeah.
Who's your pick for the 500?
I have to admit I have no idea who's in.
You don't
I
even know
don't
one
have the
name.
delays. I got hired to come here and perform rock and roll music, and I didn't really have time to think about it much.
hey.
And so all I knew is that I was going to get to see my nieces Mary and Georgia, and so I was excited about that.
As you should be. I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that. I'll give you this I'll give you some help on this. All
Okay,
right. You
sure.
said you're a McLaren fan. You want them to win an
Yeah,
F1.
why not?
McLaren's got a couple cars in the race here. One of
Okay.
them is one of the regular co-hosts of the show who's too busy being a racing driver
All right.
to be here. So why don't we go with Alex Rossi?
Alex Rossi is my pick.
You're up
to
here
win the Indy 500. Yes.
The most honest and truthful Indy 500 pick we've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, another big round of applause for Robin Wilson. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Make sure you check out
Thank
the
you.
concert. Thanks for coming by, man. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Cheers.